Hello, everyone. Welcome to Premier Destiny's Q&A session. Thank you so much for your patience. We just had a little technical glitch there, but that's why they say it's always good to have backup, right? So we are ready and we're moving right along. Once more, welcome to our Q&A live session. This is Paul and Joan from Premier Destiny. We're coming to you from a place of positivity, greatness, success, all of that, okay? And we have our Q&A live sessions where we answer questions from our listening audience, vast viewing audience like yourself here on Tuesdays at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So we are ready to go. And for some of you who may not be aware of who we are, Paul and Joan from Premier Destiny, we are transformation experts. We guide ambitious professionals, business owners, aspiring business owners to go from the ordinary to the extraordinary. And that's because we believe life is abundant. Everyone deserves to be successful and prosperous and have fun while doing that. All right. So today we have a question from Jackie. Jackie is from Phoenix, Arizona. And she has a great question. You really want to pay attention to this one. She's asking for advice. She must be an entrepreneur because she says, what advice do you have for entrepreneurs facing decision paralysis? Thank you so much, Jackie, for sending in your question. This is a great one, and it will resonate with many of us because whether you're an entrepreneur, like Paul and myself, or you are an ambitious professional, or you are a student, whatever you are, there's going to be something that will help you in your decision-making process. Okay, so just stay tuned and follow with us. So Jackie wants advice, but Jackie, what we're going to give you here is a whole lot. Okay, we're going to try to minimize it as much as possible. But before we go into the meat of the session today, so to say, I would like to just share a little bit of background, right, about decision paralysis. What is decision paralysis? It's it's like you see yourself at the fork of a road. You don't know whether to go left or right. You just feel stuck. You're overwhelmed. You have an overload of options. There are so many choices to make, right? And you just there, you don't know what to do. And sometimes it's not just too many choices. Sometimes you could have just one major choice decision, but there's something holding you back from going ahead. You're wondering, should I proceed? Should I not proceed? Especially with the new year coming around the corner. This year is, quickly spent almost. It's time when people start making decisions, right? And you may be at the point now, like Jackie, who needs advice, okay? Maybe because you have too many options, or you are afraid just to take the next step, okay? Well, how do you know you are really suffering from decision paralysis? How do you know? First of all, you're not able to make that decision to go forward. You are procrastinating. You keep putting it off. I'll think about it. I'll do it next week, right? You are procrastinating. That is one sign that there is decision paralysis going on. Okay. Another sign could be over analysis. You are thinking it through too much. Some of us who like to analyze things a lot can fall into that trap where we just keep going down the drain because we're trying to make it perfect, right? So sometimes that could lead to decision paralysis as well. How about fear? You may have so many choices to pick from and you're just confused. But again, it could be just one choice and you're afraid to make that decision because of so many things you're uncertain about. You're afraid that you may not You're worried about regrets that you may have down the road if you make that decision. So fear can be a sign also that could give you a clue of decision paralysis. Okay. Sometimes you're always trying to seek the opinion of others. You want to talk to this person, you want to talk to everybody you know before you make a decision. That could be a sign that you're suffering from decision paralysis. It's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with seeking advice. As a matter of fact, maybe Paul will be talking about that later. But it's when you want to talk to everybody, right? It delays the process. And at that point, you get even more confused. Okay. How about indecision affecting productivity? For example, Jackie may be an entrepreneur. If you are dilly-dallying, you're taking your time, you're not making that decision, it's going to affect your business. It's going to affect, maybe it's your studies, it's going to affect something. So it's going to affect your productivity because you can't move forward. You can't take that next step. Okay. So those are just some of the signs, if I may call them telltale signs, that decision paralysis is going on. All right. All right. But before I hand over to Paul to look at how to deal with decision paralysis, how about highlighting some of the dangers of decision paralysis? Okay. I touched a little bit on productivity. Okay. But how about looking at lost opportunities? There could be lost opportunities because you don't take action, right? Before I talk about that, let me give you some quotes here that could really help you understand a little bit more about decision paralysis. And I have one here from Ryan Howard. Ryan Howard said, the worst decision is indecision. Think about that. Okay. He emphasizes the importance of moving forward. Even when it's difficult, you're not 100% sure, just move forward. All right. Okay. So going back to lost opportunities, like I said earlier, if you are not able to make that decision soon enough, you may miss an opportunity. You may miss a deadline and you lose that contract. You may miss the opportunity to get a great discount on a travel trip, a trip that you're trying to schedule for yourself. I'll give an example. Like I mentioned, Paul and I are in business, and we've been in business in the home care uh, sector for over 21 years now. Just about when we got started, we had the opportunity to apply for to become credential vendors for the veterans program, and we didn't make that decision soon enough. Guess what? When we were ready to make that decision, the doors were closed. The opportunity was no longer there. So that was a major lost opportunity because we took our time trying to make sure that we had all the ducks in a row, all our T's crossed, our I's dotted, and we lost that opportunity. But thankfully enough, when that opportunity came up again, guess what? We jumped right in, even when we didn't have all the details, everything that we wanted, we jumped right in so as not to lose that opportunity again. Excuse me, let me get a sip of water.
I was going to add also, Joan, that you know, making not de- making decide not deciding is also deciding, right? I mean, if you
That's
if
right.
you take your time, in a certain sense, you decided. I mean, the society will decide for you. Someone will decide for you. Okay. I mean, just like
Mhm.
we did in this case here, where we took our good old time. Guess what? This decision was made for us. We did not sign up for this Veterans Administration contract. All right. A decision was made for us. Guess what that decision was? Too late. You cut out. Someone else took that spot. Okay. So indecision, by deciding not to decide, okay, by default, if you choose not to decide, in a certain sense, you decided already. You have. So it's one of, and it's best for you to decide, to take the reins of your life or your business life in your own hands, rather than let it just go to the wind and have them decide for you, because someone's going to do it, folks.
Thank you. Thank you. That is so valuable. Thank you. That's valuable insight, Paul. I appreciate that. I wanted to give us another quote there to help you understand the significance of making decisions and making them quickly, right? It's one from Marcus Cicero. He said, indecision is a thief of opportunity. Okay, like Paul said, we lost that opportunity, but thankfully, when it came up again, we jumped right at it, and we are now part of the program.
Credential.
Another scenario was this. A few years back, I was approached by Yahoo Forbes, Yahoo Finance, to to do a project with them. And again, I dilly-dallied making that decision. By the time I went back to them, the opportunity was no longer there. So now, guess what? When Forbes approached me, I was like, I am not going to let this one go by. And I jumped right in. And now I am a member of the Forbes Business Council. So, just to show you how indecision or decision paralysis can help make you lose opportunities. Okay. And if you don't decide, the system will decide for mention. Another disadvantage or detriment of decision paralysis is resource drainage. Okay, what do we mean by that? You spend time. Time is a valuable resource. You know, it's only 24 hours you have. So that's the resource that you have, the time that you have. By you spending so much time on that decision, you're taking away time, your valuable time, from focusing on other aspects of your business or your life that would be a detriment in the long run. Okay. For those of us in business, decision paralysis can really affect your team's morale. You may not realize it. You may think, okay, I just want to make sure that I have all my T's crossed and I's dotted. But you have to take a step back and see how this indecision is affecting your team, your entire operation. If it's your personal life, how is it affecting your family? Or if it's an association you belong to, how is it impacting those the other members of the association? So you have to be mindful that indecision can also impact others. And in this case of entrepreneurship or business ownership, our team. Okay, so that could negatively impact your business. How about your reputation? It could impact your reputation as well. You may not present as the right leader, a strong leader who can make decisions quickly, or maybe you don't have a clear vision. That is how you may come across to others if you're suffering from decision paralysis. And of course, there's personal stress also. That time that you're spending thinking about it, you could have a headache, sleepless nights. That could wear you down as well. Okay, so um, those are some of the negative aspects that you may encounter if you suffer from decision paralysis. Okay, so it's a very, very serious matter, serious subject that we need to pay close attention to and look out for those telltale signs to make sure that we're not suffering from decision paralysis. So I'm going to pass over to Paul to get us started on how do we deal with decision paralysis. So you have some of the signs, the detriments. We're not going to stop there, right? We're giving you advice. So, what advice do we have for you on how to tackle this, how to deal with it? So, over to you, Paul.
Thank you, Joan, and thank you, everyone. Welcome to today's edition of our Q&A. As Joan said, we do this every week, every Tuesday at noon Eastern Standard Time. And we just thank you so much for joining us. Thank you again, Jackie. I think it was Jackie from Phoenix,
Phoenix.
Arizona, who sent the question in. Thank you, Jackie. This is a very good one. And let me just say this: decision paralysis, which also could be called indecision, right? It hampers our ability to make decisions. Is pretty common. It is pretty common, folks. It's something that we go through as human beings in our personal lives, business life, or whatever. I mean, it's something that impacts how we go through life. So It's not just limited to business only. It's something that we go through. Uh, it's important in starting off for us to acknowledge the challenge. Okay, let's acknowledge. Just begin by acknowledging the fact that decision paralysis is common experience for entrepreneurs, everyone else. Okay, it often stems from fear of making, like Joan talked about, making the wrong choice or the pressure of high stakes. Right? We try to recognizing this. This helps us formalize or normalize the feelings and opens up a space for constructive discussion. I think oftentimes what happens is that we're so scared of the outcome, right, of a decision we're going to make that we freeze. We don't just make them,
Mm,
but we have to because life is going to move on, right? Decision making is part of the growth process. Let me just put that out there. It's part of the growth process as an individual, as a business person, as someone who's in life. You have to decide because, like we said before, decide not to decide is by default a decision anyway, and it's best for you to take the reins in your own hands rather than have society or someone else make those decisions that may not be fully aware and appreciate whatever circumstance you may find yourself in. So it's always best for you to make them yourself. Okay. So again, welcome to this growth process. Embrace it as a step towards your growth. Okay, we have to go through it. It's part of growth. I would say that in terms of looking how to overcome a decision paralysis, I talked about acknowledging the challenge. No, it's there. It's going to happen. Now, what do we do about it? Right? That's the important part. Well, it's important to set clear, achievable goals. Okay, set clear, achievable goals. Define what success looks like for you or for your business. Jackie, what does it look like for you? I mean, is it, if let's say you start up a company, like for us in our case, right? We have in our home care business, for example, some goals that we set up. We expect X amount of leads coming in, okay? X amount of leads coming in, X amount of new clients coming in on a weekly basis, which means that we need to generate X amount of revenue every week, X amount of hours for the month. That's how we break it out. So what is it for you? What is it for you? Is it a one new client a week? Does it mean four new clients a month? What is it for you? Set clear, achievable goals that allow make you stretch and start just going for it. Okay? Because once you do that, it's going to help propel you. And then once you achieve the goal the first week, you go for the goal the next week, and so on and so forth. Right? Set clear, achievable goals that'll help you. I would also limit your options. Okay, limit your options because again, a problem with decision paralysis is that we're overloaded by too many choices. And then we get scared. I mean, is this going to be right? Or is this going to what is the outcome for this going to be? What's the outcome for that going to be? Right? But if we limit our options, reduce our number of choices, so it avoids overload on our decision making process. Then we're off to the races. We can easily decide. I mean, it's easier to have pick one out of three than pick one out of 10, right? Because again, like Joan
that's
talked about,
right.
you start over analyzing it, and then leads to just more. You freeze, okay? But if you have just three choices to pick one out of three, it's much easier. You can easily evaluate those three choices and then kind of go from there. All right. One of the suggestions would be use data-driven decision making. Use data in your decision making process. If once you make decisions based on data, on analytics, right, on guesswork, it reduces the stress on you because you're going
Mm,
based on some metrics. Okay. In our company, our home care company, we use what we call KPIs, key performance indicators. That's what we use on a monthly basis, right? We have performance indicators for marketing, for example. For I mean, how are we going to track what leads are we expected to make on a monthly basis? What is going to be a conversion rate? How many clients are we looking to attract? How much revenue are we looking to generate? And what does that lead to in terms of expenses? Okay. So key performance indicators are going to help you also decide. So you know where your dollars are going to. If you're investing dollars in certain parts of marketing, what return on investment are you getting from those investment dollars? or those marketing dollars, right? That's going to help you decide: do I keep doing this marketing or don't I do it? That way, you take the it does not become subjective anymore, right? It becomes data driven. You make the decisions based on the data that you have. If data speaks, and the data speaks for itself, right? As you see the returns coming in from those investments, then you know that it's a good way to go. Correct? It takes the pressure off of you, because the worst thing you don't want any pressure on you. You want to use some data to justify whatever decision you're going to make. I would also say seek advice, seek feedback and advice, not just from yourself. Talk to your team, because your team has a lot of valuable information. They're out in the field just like you are, right? They get to meet with the clients. They meet with the team, right? They know what's out there. Okay, I mean they're the marketplace. They know what works and what doesn't work. What's their feedback? Reach out to a mentor. In our case, we have mentors to work with, right? We have mentors to work with that would, if we have a challenge with our home care company, we'll reach out to them. Say, hey, we're looking at this, that, the other. What do you think? What's the best way to position ourselves? We're going to grow. We're looking to grow by 5%, 10%. What's the best way to go about it? And they'll give some guidance. We're also mentors to other people too, right? That may need this information, that may want to reach out. Say, let me run this by you. What do you think? And we'll go from there. So it's important to seek out feedback from not just your experience, but from folks that you work with, and also consult a mentor. That'll help you. I would also say we also want to prioritize tasks and decisions.
Mm.
Identify which decisions will have the most impact, the most significant impact in your operations, right? For example, if you're looking to say, you're looking to I'll take an example, like if you're opening a restaurant, right? Decide what foods you intend to serve and who your clientele will be before you decide on a location or hiring staff, right? Because it's more important to know what you're going to sell, what you're going to serve to your clients, and who your clients are going to be before you even decide what the location is going to be, who you're going to hire. So that's important. The other thing I'll also suggest is another stuff for you to consider is break down break down big decisions. Okay,
Mm.
sometimes these decisions seem to be so huge, but once you break them down, then they're more manageable. Tackle large decisions in smaller, manageable parts. For example, when expanding, the business owner breaks it down into location scouting, hiring new staff, marketing strategies. Once you break it down like that, it's then easier for you to manage. It's much easier for you to manage. I would also add that whenever you seek all this advice, you do all these things. Trust your gut, folks. Trust your gut, because
Yep.
your body knows what's right. Okay, it's important. Once you can get all the advice you want, but at the end of the day, what do you think? Put it all together. What do you think? Take thinking time and just kind of go process it all. What do you feel about it? Because your body will tell you. Okay, your body will tell you what's right, what's wrong. They will tell you if you listen to it though, right? So it's important to take some thinking time and just process the information you've gathered and see how it's going to work out for you. And then it's you the right decisions pretty much going to show up based on how you feel, your gut feeling, if you will. Okay, so those are some thoughts that I have, and I'll turn over to Joan for some more practical solutions on overcoming decision paralysis. Over to you, Joan.
Wow, that was powerful, Paul. Thank you so much. I like the last one there. Trust your gut, your intuition, right? That's a higher sense that we have that many times we neglect to use. And I am glad you mentioned that as well. So, Jackie, we're not done. All right. Here, I'm going to share with you some more tips or strategies to help deal with decision paralysis. Okay. The first one is to set deadlines. When you feel like you have all the time in the world, okay, to decide, you can find yourself in a situation of decision paralysis, and in the end maybe indecision, because you're just deliberating endlessly. Okay,
Mhm.
so give yourself time, set a deadline and say, okay, by the end of this year or by the end of this month, I'm going to be able to decide which way I'm going to go or not go. All right. Also learn from past experience. Okay, don't negate that, because we learn from experience. Over the Q&A sessions that we've done here, we've talked about failure, how it's important to learn from failure, right? So go back, look at your past experience. Was that decision that you made 2 or 3 or 5 years ago, did it give you the results that you were looking for? Right? Paul talked about goals, making sure you have your goals, clear goals. Did you accomplish what you were after? Okay. So make sure that you go back, reflect on previous decisions and learn from them. Okay. Both decisions that ended up being very successful and even those that did not um, become successful, that were failures, because we can always learn from failures as well. Okay, this is one that we really need to consider. And as business owners, entrepreneurs, we have to learn to be flexible. Okay, sometimes you feel like, okay, I'm the CEO, I'm the CFO, I'm the CEO, or whatever. Um, this is my business. I know it. This is the way I want to do it. And you don't consider, like Paul talked about, seeking wisdom or insights from your team members, from mentors, and so forth, or maybe from family members, trusted ones, though. And you just feel like this is it. Okay, you are the it and all of it. You have to decide, but you have to be flexible, willing to adjust and just reverse your decisions. Don't feel embarrassed. Don't feel people will think you are a failure or whatever. No, 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 no. Be willing to embrace some flexibility in your decision making process. All right. And I'm gonna share this, even though I know um it's kind of problematic for me to some extent, is avoiding perfectionism. I am one who believes in excellence, always results oriented excellence. That's my mantra. And for that reason, I always strive for perfection. But I've learned that I have to make decisions even when the answer is not 100%, right? Even when I don't have all my ducks in a row, I have to get started at some point. It may be good enough, that's okay to proceed. Okay. It doesn't have to be 100% perfect for me to proceed. So, Jackie, I'm saying this from the heart because I know this is a pet peeve of mine. I want things to be excellent, I want them to be perfect. And sometimes I may take longer to make that decision. Okay. And as I shared earlier, it hasn't always served me, served me or served our business well. So try to avoid that. Okay, you can strive for perfectionism, but if you have to make a decision, good enough is okay. All right. And then one last suggestion that we have for you today and everyone listening is just embrace failure as a learning tool. Sometimes it's hard. Sometimes it's hard because you feel like you are a failure, you're not a success. You made the wrong decision. You take it so hard on you, you start beating on yourself. No, that may not be the case. Like we said, there's always something to learn from failure. What are the lessons? Are the opportunities from that experience that you can use so that you make the right decision the next time? Okay, so always learn from failure. Embrace it as a learning tool. Okay. All right. So I see a question here from Edna. Let me see. Edna says, when you how do you know when to give up or keep moving on a business? That's an interesting one. Maybe we should take it up on the next on the next Q&A session, right? So or maybe in a few weeks
Yes.
we can answer that question, but we can get back to you, Edna. Okay, we're going to reach out to you. That's a good question, because sometimes we make those decisions and something goes wrong and we think, well, it's time to give up. But it may not be the case. It may just be an indication that you need to take a different direction. Okay, you may need to go back to the drawing board and look at your strategy, tweak that some. Okay, look at your KPIs. Let them speak to you, like Paul was talking about earlier. Your key performance indicators. So that's a very good question, Edna. Thank you for asking it. Paul, I think we should tackle that one of these weeks.
We
So
will.
because of time, we're going to wrap up here, but please remember decision paralysis. Think of the signs, the telltale signs, to make sure that you're not suffering from decision paralysis. Think of the detriment, how detrimental decision paralysis could be to your enterprise, to your business, to your loved ones, to your family, whatever it is. Okay, think about that, and then consider these suggestions that we've shared with you. Right, we've shared quite a few. Pick the ones that resonate with most and start applying them. Okay, again, this is part of decision analysis paralysis. Make a decision today and start applying at least one of these strategies that we've given you to get out of decision paralysis. Okay, Paul, any
Awesome.
rounding
Yes, yes,
comments,
yes, yes,
conclusions
yes,
here?
indeed. Yes, indeed. Folks, just remember that a big shot is a little shot that kept on shooting. I'll say it again. A big shot is a little shot that kept on shooting, right? Joan talked about embracing failure as a learning tool. So just keep at it, folks. Keep this light at the end of the tunnel. I promise you, this light at the end of the tunnel. Keep shooting. Okay, eventually you will overcome. The strategies we shared with you here today can certainly help you. We've used it in our lives as we've shared with you here today, and it can also make a difference in your life, business life, or personal life if you apply these strategies we've talked about. Okay. Um,
Mhm.
Again, thank you again for joining us today, folks. We encourage you to hop on our website. It's at www.premierdestiny.com. Premier is Premiere, destiny.com. Okay, reach out there. We have resources that can help you in your journey. Through success, really, and overcoming whatever challenges you may have, your personal business lives. Just check out our website, premierdestiny.com. You can always email us with questions, support at premierdestiny.com. And you can also follow us on our social media handles, premierdestiny.com. And, we're on social media on all the platforms, LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram. Just reach out to us, folks. To serve and help you achieve whatever goals you may want to achieve faster. Okay, so reach out to us. We'll be glad to share this with you, share the information with you. And again, thank you so much for joining us today, and we look forward to seeing you next time. Over to you, Joan.
All right. Again, Edna, we're going to get in touch with you and see how we can help you answer that question. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you all again and see you next Tuesday, same time, 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Yes.
For now, bye
Make
bye.
it a great
Life
day,
is good.
folks.
Make the best of it. Okay.
Absolutely. Make it a great day, folks. Bye bye for now.